Hi, I'm back. So this is the fourth video. Man, I'm just like on a roll tonight, making all these videos. Um, I'm going to talk about threading a sewing machine. In this particular case, it's the Singer Confident Stylist sewing machine that I'll be threading, but it's basic principles for many machines. So first off, I have my thread here. It's actually embroidery thread because it has a sheen to it. It's the Gutermann embroidery thread because I'll be using one of the decorative stitches on my machine for the project that I'll be talking about maybe in the next video. Anyway, here is my thread. As with all threads, or many threads, it has this nifty little, you can pop it out because it has a little thread keeper. And you unroll it and ta-da! There you go. I have my thread. You put it up here on the spool, and then you take your little thread keeper, as they call it, and that way it stays put or in place. If you have a bigger thread, some people do, you can actually push this up a little so it'll fit on the spool. Okay, so whenever you're threading this machine, you take it, this is going to be interesting because I'm going to do it one-handed, but you are going to loop it behind this guy and then also have it catch there. That's two separate steps. Don't try to do them together because if you do, then you may not always get them to catch. And next up, we're following, see how the diagram is right there? We're following it, so we're going to come and bring our thread down, loop it around, and always make sure that your sewing foot is up. So we're looping it around this guy. Sorry. And it just kind of catches in there. And then you pull it down. And we have our thread right here. You can barely see it, but it's now down in there. Next up, this is going to be especially tricky for me because I could barely thread this in the store with two hands, let alone one hand. There must be some kind of trick or something because mine doesn't have this catch-all thing back there. I may actually have to. Anyway, right here you can see it has this little groove thing right here. You would get that and then move it. Let me see if I can balance my little camera. Oh, look at that. Niftiness. Okay, there we go. I put it through there. This is my automatic threader. I'm going to loop it around. See, you can see this little guy has a hook. I'm going to loop it around that. And what it's going to do is it'll pull it through. And then you just pull your thread through. And that, my friends, is how you thread the machine. This foot, there you go. It has a little side entrance. On my other machine, the entrance for pulling the thread through is in the front, but this actually has a little groove on the side. So that's how you use your automatic threader, and that's how you thread the machine. Here in the back, I'm going to show you right here. This is actually a blade for you to cut your ribbons, so that way you don't have to constantly reach for your scissors. So that's pretty handy. One other thing, whenever you're taking the thread out of your machine, I learned this at the orientation this past weekend, is you want to cut your thread. Instead of pulling it out, like I always just pull my machine or my thread out and then it pulls the thread all the way through. But our teacher actually, or the instructor, let us know that the #1 issue with the people at like the repair shops is all these loose threads that get caught. So whenever you pull it through reverse, you're more prone to have all these extra loose threads, and then you have to go take your machine in for extra maintenance. So cut your thread, right here at the base, and then pull the thread through. That way it goes into the forward motion and not retraction. So there you go. That's a heads up on how to thread your Singer Confident Stylus sewing machine.